Hey, this is AJ. Welcome back to the Handyman process. This video is a little bit different. I don't even know what today is. January 15th, 16th. It's a Tuesday. Woke up this morning to water coming out of the ceiling. I just put this ceiling up too. It's kind of like tongue and groove. Pine. Figured this thing up, and then my wife came in this morning and I was on a meeting and she hit me on the shoulder. She's like, hey, there's water coming from the ceiling. Nah, what are you talking about? And sure enough, can't really see it up in there, but put that in there. Got a bunch of pipes and stuff in here. It's been pretty darn cold here down in Texas and San Antonio area, and it's just one of many things going on. So in this video, I figured I would just kind of walk around and say what it's like. I don't know about you guys and men and women out there running the handyman businesses, but the year has been starting off very slow for me. So I'm going to kind of walk around and kind of tell you what I've been working on and why I haven't really put out many videos. Stay tuned. All right, so like I mentioned, it's been start of the year has been kind of a little bit all over the place. Right now, as I walk into my garage or my office, my handyman office, you see all the plants and stuff I have in there. It's been getting down into the teens here the last couple of days. So I've been bringing all my plants. If you don't know, I have another YouTube channel called San Antonio Gardening where I talk about all sorts of gardening stuff. I don't put a whole lot of content out in that. It's more like fun stuff, but trying to keep all the stuff that I've kind of propagated alive. But I have worked a few jobs recently. I see a couple boxes down here. I put a couple of light fixtures in the other day. But I've been focusing more on the house, my own personal house. And I don't think I've recorded much of this, but I've been slowly getting rid of all the grass in my front yard and putting down these wood chips, and I mix them with coffee grounds and some other stuff just to kind of keep things fertile. And as I walk out here a little further, you'll see that I've been working on some kind of landscaping projects, more personal stuff. But I have these little areas, I forget what they're called, maybe like easements, in front of my property here that the grass just wasn't growing. So I decided to kind of put kind of a dryscape area down here. It's just kind of crushed, decomposed granite, some artificial turf, and a few plants and a few lights. I had done the same thing over here on the other side. I kind of like the way it turned out, so I'm continuing to mess around with that, and I'm pretty happy with the results. Here in the summertime in Texas, it just gets unbearably hot. So by having a dryscape up there, having all the wood chips up here, and a few other things, I'm hoping it's gonna cut down on the amount of maintenance that I have to do kind of around the house. But I'll talk in this video about if you're a handyman or a handywoman, working on your own house is usually the last priority. But I got stuff like really falling apart around my house that I really need to get after. And probably the first one is this railroad tie retaining wall that I have here. I pulled a 7-foot snake skin out of this thing about a year ago. It's just fallen down. So I think tomorrow I'm gonna go pick up, I saw a pretty good deal on Facebook Marketplace. I'm gonna pick up a bunch of retaining wall blocks, kind of the big ones, and just get that all started. Then in addition to that, I'll walk a little bit more into what I got going on in my backyard. So like I mentioned, I run a gardening channel, so I spend a lot of time composting stuff back here. I got all sorts of junk back here, but I have a couple of pretty substantial compost operations going on. This is something called a Johnson Sioux bioreactor. You can Google that, but what it is, it's a fancy way of making compost. And I got other piles all over the place of where I kind of do this and put this together. But it all leads up to, in my spare time, what do I do? And in my spare time, I like to kind of transform my property and turn it into some place that I like to kind of be at. So as I go over here, you'll see, and I apologize, I'm a terrible cameraman, but when I first moved into this property, it was kind of all grass, and I've slowly, the whole fence line here, I've gotten rid of that. I have blueberries and bananas and pomegranates and fig trees. I put a nice little fire pit area in here that's kind of connected to the back of the house. I put in this giant circle garden that you can kind of see behind me. I basically just put a string in the middle and ran a circle around it, and then used some paver stones that I had laying around. And then inside here, I make sort of like pie wedges, and I just rotate my crops around. So everything's kind of dying off right now with the freeze that we have. But I alternate with wood chips here in one of the pie shapes and then soil in the other one. I had a whole bunch of peppers and all sorts of stuff. Some of my herbs are still kind of growing fairly well right now. I got apple trees. I got one here. I got one over there. I got plums. That whole line over here is my favorite vegetable, which is asparagus. So I've been slowly getting all of my asparagus kind of here and established. And if you don't know anything about asparagus, it takes a couple of years to get that stuff growing. But what do I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 asparagus plants. So next year, actually this springtime when I come out here, there's just going to be asparagus out the wazoo. And that's a technical term, wazoo. At least we use it up north. But I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to all the asparagus that I have there. I also have a lot of garlic kind of laying around. I got a little peach tree here. That's my other apple tree. Got some plum trees over here. Kind of got my standard raised garden beds. I do all my tomatoes in this thing. You'll see this kind of trellis set up with some of these strings. I'll grow all my tomatoes in there. And I'll probably be expanding this area out here as well. I got some cabbages. Cabbages do okay in the cold weather. So do the Brussels sprouts. Broccoli, I don't know. I got a bunch of broccoli in here. I'm not sure if it's going to take the cold or not. Got my fig tree over here, my banana over there. I do have a nice orange tree right here, but that kind of died back a bit with the cold. So hopefully keep my fingers crossed that kind of grows and becomes good. But anyway, this is what I do in my off time. So I figured instead of making a video on handyman process and what you do, I figured I would just give a little bit of a personal background of what I do when I'm not doing handyman stuff. Like I said, I've been doing a few jobs here and there, but it's been a slow start to the year. And as a part-time guy, to me, that's no big deal, right? I realize a lot of you guys, this is your bread and butter, so you got to kill it every day. And maybe you're like, man, I just want to take a break. And that's basically what I'm doing right now, is I'm just taking a little bit of downtime, taking a break. Wasn't expecting to be repairing a bunch of stuff in my own house, but here I am. This is what I'm doing. Anyway, it's a beautiful day out, and figured I'd make a quick video, just touch base, let people know that I'm out there, and I'll be getting back into the handyman process, typical videos here probably the next week or so. Anyway, take care. Bye.